Hey Facebook, how are you guys? Facebook Live. Now I am live on Instagram and Facebook, so welcome to my page. I am Adetoro Majek of SoHolisticCoaching.com. I am coming to you live because I wanted to share some insight and perspective with you on self-care and self-awareness and just taking care of who you are from the inside out and being with yourself. So I am going to do something different. So I want to, tell you more about myself, like give you kind of like a personal experience that I'm currently undergoing. And yeah. So I just recently made a big purchase, and I am so proud of what I purchased because it's something that I've been manifesting for 2 years now, and I honestly didn't think that I would do it because I just didn't know how it was going to happen. But some really beautiful spiritual things created this process to come about. So I've been manifesting a specific item, and it's out of my comfort zone. And I just got inspired to look to see if anything was available. And so maybe I should just be authentic and honest and open and forthcoming. And so I've been having the desire for the last 2 years to purchase a moped or a scooter. And it was something that I started having an interest in getting when I first moved to Austin. And I didn't even think that I would actually stay in Austin for as long as I've been here. So right now I'm going on my third year of living in Austin, and I love it. It's been such an amazing experience. But besides that, when I first moved here, I just started seeing how easy it was to get around on a moped. And I'm a walker. I walk everywhere and I take public transportation. And I'm not really into purchasing a car or a vehicle or what have you, just because I just don't see the need for it in my life right now. Don't get me wrong, I used to drive, but I am a minimalist and I enjoy a simple lifestyle. And this also has to do with the fact that so living a simple lifestyle or being simplistic is something that also affects the story that I'm about to tell you or telling you right now. So I really don't like large items because I'm not someone that is very into like being weighed down by like major purchases, and car is a major purchase for me, and so are other things like a moped and a scooter or whatever. But there's so much simplistic living to it. And so I didn't think that I would purchase this item, but I knew that it was something that I wanted and something that I was passionate after, something that I knew that was what I felt I connected to, and I really wanted to see it in my life. But I also felt like, it's okay. Like if it doesn't happen, I'm okay with it. Like I don't really need to have a moped. I'm getting around just, as easily as the rest of us. So for me, it wasn't a big deal. But I don't know, for some reason the idea came back to me, and it's been 2 years that I've been living here, and now I'm going on my third, and the idea for some reason just popped up for me again within this month, and I felt so connected and so aligned to it. And so something that's scary for me, and this is part of my healing process, something that's still an issue for me is making mistakes in life, making big mistakes in life, making or taking huge chances, like going beyond the boundary of fear that I have, as far as like going after big things for myself. So this is why I posted that card by the universe has your back, by, I can't remember her name, Bernstein. Anyway, she's this spiritual coach. And so I recently posted on my Instagram and Facebook a card that I chose out of her deck, the universe has your back deck. And so it says something to the effect that I choose to live like beyond my fear, because I know that the universe supports me. I can't remember the words word for word, but either way, it's a beautiful saying. And so anyway, so to get back to my inner experience of what I'm going through, or just how I've always lived, is that I've always lived small. I've always lived very simplistic. I've always lived very like, I feel like very like borderline. I know when to push things, and then I know when to not push things, and I know when to stay safe. And I'm always cautious because I don't want to make huge mistakes in life. And so anyway, so somehow, so I took the chance to look and see like what was available as far as like opportunities to purchase a moped or a scooter, what have you. And I went on Craigslist and I was looking around, and I found some few ones that I was into, and I had an idea of what I wanted. And so I sat on it for a day or two. And in that day or two, I also called out to my inner being, and I asked God in my through my inner being and in my time of prayer, what amount should I look for to purchase this means of transportation? Because I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy getting around by bus on the system here. And so you guys are like all in my info. I do not drive. I take public transportation. And so anyway, so it's not the easiest. So basically I called out to God and I asked like, God, like, how much should I look to spend if I purchase this item? And so I was given the amount 300, and I'm like, that, but that doesn't make sense, because you cannot find a motorcycle for $300 unless something is absolutely totally wrong with it. And so I was grappling with that, because it's very hard to believe that that is possible. Mind you, that's not how much I got it for, but it's a very close price to what I paid for. I didn't get it for 300, and don't get me wrong, I tried to finagle it for 300. And if I had done my due diligence, I would have possibly gotten it for 300, because yeah, there is some hiccups along the way. But besides the point, my purpose for coming online and being here with you today is to show you that you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to live in fear. And it's all in your mind. And not only is it all in your mind, it's just a perception that something isn't for you, which keeps you which keeps you exactly where you are at, stuck and not moving past the desires and the dreams that you have for yourself. And so for me, I get scared to make decisions when it comes to my life and how it affects my lifestyle, or how it affects my health, or how it affects my finances and things like that, because I just don't want to make mistakes, right? We never want to make mistakes when it comes to our finances, our health, the people that we care and love, and just the way that we are living life, right? And so for me, it was sometimes I don't necessarily think things through, because I feel like if I do, then I'm definitely not going to go for what I want, because there's going to be so much evidence for me to not do it. And that is exactly what happened. I didn't think about this purchase that I made, but I went for it because I knew it's something that I've been wanting, and it's something that kind of just came into alignment for me at the time that I started thinking of it. And so yeah, so it was possible because once the idea showed up for me in my inner being, I started doing research, and I was able to find exactly what I had envisioned, and for the price that you just don't get if you are purchasing this item. So basically, I'm always afraid to take big risks in life. And I have this very real reaction to taking big risks. For some reason, my body has a weird reaction when it comes to spending a lot of money or undertaking something that is out of the norm for me. And so that is what I did. And mind you, I'm not in a really good financial place, but that doesn't mean that it's not possible. There's always a way if you focus, and if you believe, and if you go after the prompts, and if you just follow, I don't know how they say, if you follow the rabbit hole, or if you follow like just the little pieces of evidence that get you to the big picture, or get you to the journey that you're trying to create for yourself. So basically, that's what happened for me. I went after the prompts and the inclinations that I had to get what I wanted, and it's been working out. And there's so much details behind it, but basically, I just feel like I have anxiety when I do big things. Like when I want to go for something, I'm always anxious, and I have anxiety and fear around, am I making the right decision? Is this gonna come back and bite me in the ass somewhere along the line, right? Or am I making a mistake, or is something else gonna come up? And that's the whole thing with life. You never know what's going to happen, but you have to be willing to trust yourself, and you have to be willing to love yourself, and you have to be willing to see how worthy you are to create what it is that you want for your life, and allow life to serve you and to support you and to take care of you. You're not always going to have control over what it is that you're trying to create or establish. You're not always going to have control over how it works out, but you will have the energy and the forces of life guiding you, supporting you, providing for you along the way. Even though it doesn't look like it's going to work out, if you keep pushing through, it's going to work out. And one thing that reminds me of this experience is something that Will Smith talks about often in his video and on his platform, is about seeing the beauty on the other side of fear. And so I'm overcoming a huge fear of mine, which is financial, and which is to also build and create something that I see for myself that is greater than what I'm used to, right? It's out of my norm. And this is out of my norm. To have a moped is out of my norm. To drive a motorcycle is out of my norm. But it's something that I've always wanted, and it's something that I've been holding on to in a very like sacred space within my being. And then to be called back to that passion or that interest, and then to take the opportunity to see if what is available, and then to go after it and say, okay, I'm moving forward with it, is all a part of me overcoming the fear of taking on something that I'm not used to, or taking on something big for my lifestyle, right? Because I live a very simple life, and I live a very simple life that consists of making sure that my inner spirit is happy and healthy, and continuing to love myself in the process. And so knowing that I'm building, or I'm creating something, or I'm establishing something for myself that I don't normally have, or I don't normally do, or it's just been a long time since the last time I've done something so grand and huge, allows me to live beyond my fear. And it allows me to see that I can create the reality that I want for myself. And this was it. And that's what I want to encourage you guys to also do that for yourself. Like, what is something that you've been really wanting, or you're really passionate about having that reality of it in your life, but you know it's something big, and it's something that scares you, and it's something that takes you out of your norm and out of your comfort zone, but you really want it for yourself. I would encourage you to just seek it out. Seek what exists. Seek what it's going to take for you to make that happen. Because I know I've done it, and it's all come together, and I'm loving the process. It's a scary, crazy, like, oh my God, I'm going to die, or I'm going to shit my pants type of experience. But it's worth it, because at the end, you're enjoying what it is that you've manifested. You're seeing your power. You're seeing how confident and creative and just powerful you can be when you trust yourself and you align with what's possible for you. And another thing that I wanted to talk about is that, okay, so in my experience of life, I grew up very timid and very intimidated by life and by circumstances and by situations and scenarios, and that kept me from believing in myself, and it kept me from trusting myself, and it has kept me from being afraid to act in life, to act on things. And just the way that I grew up, I've been someone that has limited beliefs in what they can do and what they can create for themselves. So in my mind, I've lived like that, but in my life, for the people that know me and my fans, my friends and my family and possibly my fans, they have known me to be someone who's daring and audacious and someone who takes chances. But I'm also someone who has been intimidated, has been fearful, and has been unsure of themselves and of their experiences. And that's just because that's a part of life. The world kind of creates that within us, and it's an illusion at the end of the day. It's not the truth of what and who we really are, because we're limitless and we're spiritual beings, and we can create the world that we want for ourselves, excuse me. And that's what I'm doing with my business. That's what I'm doing with my life, my lifestyle, and that's what I'm doing with the way that I am living. And so I've always had issues with not being afraid or not making things out to be more than what they are, just because I've always lived so minusculely. And when I say minusculely, I mean I've always lived like a life that was sheltered, and a life that was very I don't know how to say the word for it. It's a life that has been very demure in thought, demure in action, and demure in behavior, not being very expressive, not putting myself in a public platform, or not showing myself in a very like expressive way. And so anyway, and so because that's the way that I used to live, I still have those traces of that, of trying not to live too bigly, or trying not to do things that are too crazy or too out of the norm, because that's just not the way that I was brought up. Because I grew up in the church. I grew up in church. I grew up being a church girl. And now I'm still a spiritual person, and not so focused on the aspects of a religion or a religious lifestyle per se. And so now that I'm living a different life than the life that I've experienced before, this life is calling me out more. This life is creating in me a new way of living, a new way of expressing myself, and a new way of having desires and experiencing those desires. So when I act on something big, I still have these residual effects of living a simplistic lifestyle, of living a more demure experience. And so having anxiety or feeling overwhelmed, or feeling stressed out, or feeling like I'm making a mistake, or feeling these things, but not, or thinking these thoughts, but not allowing them to rule me, and not allowing them to make decisions for me. And so that's what Soulistic Coaching is about, is having the fear, knowing that these are okay, they can exist, right? But not allowing yourself to act based on them, and allowing yourself to act in your knowing and in your power, and knowing that you are supported and that you are loved and that you are capable and things are always working out for you, and that you can take the life that you're trying to create and manifest and make that a reality for you, and giving yourself the love and the respect that is due to you, because you know that you are someone who is powerful and someone who is abundant and someone who prospers and someone who's successful. And so that's what Soulistic Coaching is about knowing your true inner being, your soul's message, right? So the message that we get before we were ever created is our message within our soul, telling us that whatever it is that we desire on this playing field is possible for us, and you're capable of going after it. And I know this is just a simple act of me taking a chance to purchase something that I've been holding on to and kind of leaning back on for the last 2 years, but it's just that simple. It's just taking a step towards something that you desire, something that you have a wanting for. And yeah, so that's my message. So I grew up not being this way. I grew up being very timid, very shy, very insecure, very unfulfilled in certain aspects, because I just thought, that's just not for me, or I just can't do that, or I'm not capable, or whatever the case might have been at the time, because I couldn't see my power, and I couldn't see my beauty, and I couldn't see my confidence. And now, as the woman that I am today, not only do I see it, I also am living it. And that's what I would encourage you to do, is to live your power, live your truth, and find that space that's in here somewhere, or here in your solar plexus, of knowing that life is for you. Life is always for you. Things will not always be exactly the way you want it to work out, which is smoothly. Things won't always work out smoothly, but they will always work out. Yeah. And the reason why they're always going to work out for you is because you're meant to be powerful. You're meant to be amazing. You're meant to be exactly what it is that you desire, that you're not allowing yourself to experience or to live or to show in this world. And that's all that I wanted to share with you. I am Ade Toro Majek. If you're interested in any of my services, which is coaching or having a one-on-one healing session virtually, please do not be afraid or timid or shy to reach out to me. You can DM me on Instagram at ade.toro, or you can send me a Facebook message at Soulistic Coaching, or you can email me at Soulistic Coaching, info@soulisticcoaching.com. And also I am having I'm having an online workshop. That's a tongue twister. It's a free online workshop, just centered on healing some of the things that we deal with. And yeah, so I'm having an online workshop dealing with some of the hiccups that we go through with our inner being because of the messages that we've been told as women of color and as just women in cultural or cultural societies, cultural identities. So just healing some of the messages and the experiences that surround that, right? Being a woman of color or being in a othered society. So yeah, so the email for that is freeonlineworkshop@soulisticcoaching.com. That is an email to send your information with email address, letting me know that you're interested in the free online workshop so that I can send the link to you. That will be towards the end of this month in November. I am thinking November 30th. That's when I'll have a group online workshop for free so that you guys can work on healing some of our stories, some of our experiences, and some of our hiccups that we have with ourselves and within our inner being. Okay, so I have taken too long talking and I'm tired. So I will talk to you guys in a few days. There are some changes happening. I am under construction. I'm going to be under a new name, and I will be revealing all of that in the next coming week. Stay tuned. I hope you got something out of this live, and I will talk to you later. All right, take care. Bye.